So I became interested in the artisanal community in Ecuador because I come from a tradition of artisans. So I identify with artisans, and I wanted to learn more about, the artisan community in Ecuador. And I quickly learned that a lot of them face hurdles to becoming successful, and some of them to even making a living, because a lot of artisans live in poverty. That sparked my curiosity of how I could help the artisan community. What would be the most impactful way? I was able to compete in the Big Idea entrepreneurship competition. Out of that came Artisan of the Andes, which is an initiative that provides training and entrepreneurial skills to artisans. All this so that they can pull themselves out of poverty. After completing this idea, I kept on thinking about how I could improve the Artisan of the Andes initiative. And so I did a little bit of research. Some of the best marketers are Italian artisans. I said, the best way to learn more deeply would be to personally talk to them. So I went to Italy and I applied to the Keller Family Venture Grant, which funded my trip to go study artisanal producers in Italy. I talked to vinegar makers, cheese makers, and from that I learned a lot of things. But one of the most meaningful lessons I got was that successful artisans in Italy have united. I mean, you can go to King Soopers down the street and find really high quality marketing materials about Parmesan cheese, which is pretty incredible considering that Parmesan cheese is made by really small scale producers. I mean, it's like a family that usually produces this cheese. So by uniting, they've been able to market their product worldwide, which would have been impossible. So the lessons I learned in Italy were really valuable because there are obviously some areas that are similar to artisans in Ecuador. The cooperative institutions are something that could be applied in Ecuador. And that's something that I would love to do when I go back is, create cooperatives of different artisans so that they can find common ground where they can unite and pretty much punch above their weight as Italian artisans have been doing.